All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Business Exchange, a show where we dive into the ideas, people, and innovations shaping industry and redefining the future. Today, we're diving into the future of construction, stronger buildings, lower operating costs, and communities designed to withstand what the future throws at them. My guest today is Ben Snuffer, co-founder of Monolith, a company reinventing how we build using advanced polyurethane insulation concrete forms. Well, Ben, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Yeah, perfect. So, Ben, what problem in construction made you feel the status quo is broken?
Oh, I could not put it into a problem. It is a whole host of issues um, that we just, a blanket statement that I would say is the entire building industry, most specifically residential, is broken. I think the biggest issue is that there are so many corners that are cut for the only thing that people I feel like are taking into consideration is speed and money. And so they
Yeah,
want to build the cheapest homes that they can as
yeah,
quickly as they can. And I'm seeing homes that are needing to be remodeled two
yeah.
years after a brand new
Got it.
home. I mean, there are homes built in 2022 that are needing to be remodeled, and issues with
Wow.
windows, roofs, siding, plumbing, all just everything. And people are cutting corners too much.
Yeah. Yeah, that's terrible. Yeah, and it's been I had the privilege of interviewing a couple other people in construction like yourself, but different aspects, insulation,
Hmm.
and that. But the same view that you have, that it is a broken system that needs to be improved. All right,
Absolutely.
so walk us through your background and how it led to you to co-found Monolith.
So I have a building background. I've done all sorts of things, more of a blue collar worker. And basically, to make the story as concise as I can, um, I've been building since the early 2000s. And around 2015, 2016, I started trying to solve the problem of how to build permanent homes. What is, why are we building the way that we're building, and what is considered alternative, alternative building? And so I went on a journey of researching and personally being involved in the construction of pretty much any technology that you can think of. So I can earth, rammed earth homes, the earth ship homes that are built out of tires. You stack tires in and you stuff them full of dirt and things. Cob homes, where you're building out of mud and clay and straw and making these bricks and mashing them together. I mean, that's what European homes that are made out of, that are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years old. They're just cob homes. I did straw bale and just everything that you could really think of, I have participated in and tried to figure out why people build that way, what are the pros and cons. And it was a years and years journey of just trying to find what is, not just what is the best building system, but I really like Cobb, for an example. It has a really high U value, but a really garbage R value, and it lasts forever. So in my mind, okay, what makes Cobb good, and how do we apply it to traditional building? What is good about straw bale, and how do we bring that into traditional building? Why are these people building all these alternative ways? What's the pros of a really thick log home? All these
Hmm.
different things. And what I ended up finding was the ICF technology. There are many, many, many ICF companies right now. Every single one of them is made out of polystyrene or styrofoam, like the packing material.
Yeah.
And So to me, ICF was a step in the right direction, but it didn't solve everything. And then I found a gentleman, Kirk Tyler. He is the original founder of the company. He had the technology of doing the ICF with polyurethane, a rigid board closed cell polyurethane. It took me about 6 months to get a hold of him because it was an old Facebook page because the company had sort of dwindled. He offered, with my enthusiasm, he offered me partnership if we could do a raise. I was successful in said raise, and the rest is history. I have a really, really strong passion specifically for closed-cell polyurethane, ICF, the system. To me, it combines every single successful aspect of all the alternative and traditional building styles and systems. It takes concrete, which has a really good thermal battery, thermal mass, and an extremely high U value. You sandwich it in between 2.5 inches of closed-cell polyurethane, which is the highest insulative material that you can get with our formula. Just the foam itself is R38.5, which is higher than any traditional building that you can get, period. And so you're just marrying all these different technologies, all these different things, earthquake, tornado, hurricane, fireproof. It's a permanent building solution that it's a one and done that I'm tired of seeing. I've spent the last year working with the Team Palisades group trying to rebuild California from the wildfire. I know for a fact that if every single home and building was built out of the polyurethane ICF, every single one of those homes would have survived. I know, I'm convinced. I mean, the foam itself has a 3+ hour burn time. You can blast it for 3 hours and it's still standing, you know?
Oh, nice.
So to me, it's just, it shores up all the weaknesses. Like your home should be your sanctuary. It should be
Yeah.
where hearth and home is where your pets are, your children are, your wife is, you are. And when there's a natural disaster, why would you build your house out of firewood? Why would you build your house out of something that's going to blow down, rip apart in a tornado?
Yeah.
It makes zero sense. Like we have the solution here. Those same fires, hurricanes, and tornadoes, they come through a town that's built out of my material. Every single one of those buildings is still standing. So that's
Nice.
what it is that we're doing. That's why I care as much as I care, because I have the solution in my fingertips. I'm behind
Yeah.
this wall. We're manufacturing right now. We're pumping these blocks out. We're getting it out to the public. And to me, it's asinine to even consider doing, my saying is, why build your house out of firewood, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good one. It's good, but also very truthful. So, yeah. So, Monolith talks about building communities, not just structures. Where did that philosophy come from?
Well, it sort of dips into the exact thing that I was just mentioning, where um, there are many people in the Palisade fires that I'm working with that can't rebuild because
Uh,
they, unfortunately, a lot of these people had their insurance cancel on them prior to the fire. And one thing that I'm also working with is insurance companies. The reason I'm bringing this all up is they can't rebuild there. So you've got people in their 70s, 80s. They didn't have their homes insured, and now what are they going to do? They have to move.
yeah.
They have to sell their land for bottom dollar at market value of what it is right now. Everything just burnt down, so it's not as beautiful as it was. Like it is not. It's a buyer's market there, not a seller's market. And so when we're building communities that last, true communities, let's throw that same scenario where all these homes they weren't even insured, but they were built out of Monolith. Those same people don't have to leave these communities that they've lived
Right.
since they were in their 20s. Like some of these people have bought their first home, stayed their entire life, raised all their kids, all of their memento, their trinkets, their memorabilia, their pictures, all of that is gone. Every single
Yeah.
memory, all of those things are completely destroyed, and now they have to leave all their neighbors that they've known their entire lives. And so
Yes.
we want to
It's
build these
terrible.
strong communities. And not only that, we want to invite new people, new builders, new architects, engineers, city planners. We want to invite these people in for the first time and say we have a permanent solution, and have them be a part of the conversation in the community as well, where we can bring a new manufacturing plant to
Yeah.
Tennessee, and we can build people and workers and all these things to where we're developing whole systems. And my ultimate goal is to work myself out of a job, because once all the buildings are permanent, there's no need for my block anymore, you know?
Well, it's a good thing that will happen too soon for you, so you can still
But yeah, I mean,
make some good money while you do
yeah.
it. So what was the moment you realized this could scale nationally?
Uh, the second that I was invited into the partnership, I mean, it is such a good solution. Um, Once we started doing the fundraising, we were very strategic on who we partnered with, concrete companies and all these different people that are already heavily involved in the building communities already, and their enthusiasm and the fact that the International Building Code is increasing in requirements and all these things. It just really goes to show um, how much of a need there is. To me, it's more of a messaging issue. It's not even an education issue. It's a messaging issue to get this
Yeah.
product in front of people. But yeah,
Yeah.
literally from the very beginning, I saw it, and then I was baffled why no one else had done it yet.
Yeah. Nice. So Monolith delivers 1.8 times strength, R33 insulation, 3+ hour fire resistance. What does that practically mean for owners and builders?
So the only thing I would correct is it's R38.5, that R33.
Oh, okay.
It needs to
Sorry
be
about
updated.
that.
I'll get with my marketing guy and make sure that that's updated on the website and everything. But what that means for the homeowner is savings. I could just make it as simple as possible. Operational
Yeah.
costs are a fraction. It's over 75% more efficient. So the best example that I have is a house built in the high desert, the just really cold area of Colorado. The average how I believe it was approximately 22 to 2,500 square feet per home in the local area, and the average operational costs for the traditional home was between $215 and $300, give or take, on the extremes of the month. And with ones built out of ours, it was on average $17 to $25 a month for operational
Wow.
costs.
Wow, that's nice. That's a big reduction.
It is massive. Another thing is insurance. We are the most insurable material because the 3+ hour burn rate, that's not if you have stucco or sheetrock or brick or any sort of siding or finish material, because all those will create fire blocks. That's just the foam itself is
Right.
3+ hours on both sides. So if it's an interior fire or exterior fire, it'll take over 3 hours once it actually gets to the foam.
Right.
So that being said, in places like California where it's hard to insure due to fire, we are working. I think it's Mercury Insurance. They have told us that they will reduce insurance premiums by 50% if they build out of our block.
Oh,
If they build out
wow.
of
Nice.
monolith. Yes, because and I was talking to some of these homeowners. I never knew this. Do you know the insurance premiums for homes in California in that fire area?
No. No.
They were saying upwards of $80,000 to $120,000 a year.
Wow.
So now picture that just cut in half immediately because they chose
Yeah.
to go with monolith.
Yeah. Nice.
And that
That's a
goes the
huge
same
chunk.
with hurricane. The foam itself isn't the hurricane proof or earthquake or tornado. It's the concrete inside.
Right.
So I don't want to like over promise what the foam does. Is you're just wrapping it in a good material.
Right.
Your strength and rigidity and structural integrity come from the rebar and the concrete.
Right. Beautiful. So, how does your 7-in-1 system change labor, timelines, and predictability?
So, are you very savvy with the construction process at all?
No.
Okay. So let me describe it in the best way possible. It's like herding cats. It's like trying to funnel a bunch of cats that are jumping around and not listening, and you're trying to orchestrate multiple trades with multiple requirements, job site requirements. You're as a general contractor, or if you're overseeing a project, whether it's commercial or residential, you got to imagine you've got to have room for equipment. You're digging foundations. You're pouring concrete. You're getting the rough framers in, the insulators, all these different tradesmen. They all have to come in at different times. And now imagine, if you will, the rough framer is sick, or his last job took too long. Now that pushes every single trade out. Let's say
Yeah.
he's out a week, and and then that happens to another tradesman and another tradesman. It just pushes that process out more and more. So when we say this 7-in-1 system, it's just taking care of all the layers of the shell of your home. So in the shell of your home, you typically have your framing, so your 2x6 wall, and then on the outside of the wall, you will have your sheathing, or your OSB, or a lot of people call it plywood. So that's two different either tradesmen or layers that you have to do. So you have to have your rough
Right.
framers come in, and then you have to have someone come in, whether it's your rough framer or a different tradesman, come in and secure your OSB. And then you have to have another person, it could be the same person, or another stage. Then you have to do your vapor barrier wrap, so you're wrapping your whole home.
Yeah.
You also have to have your insulation guy come in, and they have to insulate. So every single stage of the exterior of your building requires, it doesn't matter if it's the same tradesman or every single stage is a separate tradesman. Someone has to physically go in, and they have to go in and they do it. And you have to store all those materials. So you have to have a landing site
Yeah.
for all your 2x6s, all your OSB, insulation rolls, all these different things. Okay? Now, instead of that, picture a 4-foot by 1-foot Lego block that you stack. So every single time you put a block in,
Yeah.
you're building 4 square feet. They weigh approximately 9 pounds each. They're not very heavy. You put it in, you place your rebar in, and you just built a foot of your house. And you continue that up. So let's say you have an 8-foot basement. You stack these up. Once it's stacked, you've been doing the rebar the whole time.
Yes.
So, to give you an example, once you do the 8 foot of your basement, then you have a second tradesman come in. So you stack the block, then after that you have someone come in and pour the concrete inside, and that's it. It's done. So inside the foam, you have pieces of plastic webbing strips that are 1.5 inches thick, and those are your studs. And so you can sheet block right to the inside, side right to the outside. It's all of those layers in one. And to give you an example, a gentleman and a couple of his sons stacked a 3,500 square foot, entire 3,500 square foot house. Took us about, I want to say, around 5 to 7 days. And then I think a couple of days later we were pouring, and the whole shell was done. You let that set for 7 days, and you have all your trades, but you can now be finishing the outside and the inside of your home. You can have your rough framers going in, and because the rest of the construction is the same. So the ultimate point is imagine having 2 tradesmen. You have your guys stacking the block, and then you have the concrete company come in and pour. That's all you're dealing with. And if you have an efficient crew, that knows how to pour your concrete and stack the block, it is incredibly fast. There are schools that are going up out of ICF that are a year and a half ahead of schedule. That
Oh
is
wow.
significant in the commercial field. We're talking
Yeah.
like a burn rate of some of these larger commercial jobs. Their burn rate is $20,000 a day with every single trade, because these buildings are huge. And so
Yeah.
you think about all the tradesmen that you have to, your burn rate, you're paying every single hand, operator, uh, manager, site planner, all these people, you have to pay them every single day that they're on the job site.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
does that answer your question? I know it's kind of hard to explain in a short, concise way, you know?
Yeah, it is. But no, that was very well done. Excuse me. Okay. So how do you help developers justify higher upfront costs to lenders and investors?
So, there are two people that we deal with. One are owner operators, where they're going to build the home or build the commercial property and they're going to own it, or they're going to rent it out, or they're just going to have it for a long period of time. That is the easiest person to convince because the operational costs for running the building, maintenance on the building, all those things, it is the easiest sell in the world because, like I said, the operational costs just you're going to be paying it off extremely fast.
Yeah. Nice.
As far as the extra cost. If I'm dealing with someone that wants to build the cheapest home and pump out 100 homes in the quickest time possible, and they're just going to want to sell it, I don't know if I will ever sell to them until they increase the International Building Code to where they have to hit certain thermal requirements and code requirements with expectations. That is something that we're trying to fix right now. But that is why I need to do my job and do the messaging to the end user.
Right.
So if you know
Yes.
about it, what's funny enough is I think that women are the target audience because you get enough, you get an army of moms and daughters and sisters and the people that tend to protect hearth and home, and you get them upset enough, they shouldn't accept the junk house. And you get them,
Yeah.
you get enough people asking for something like my product, that's how you solve that problem. If you come to
Yeah.
me and you're going to own a 100-plex unit of an apartment, I could easily justify it to you in a 10-minute conversation. Your
Yes.
operational costs are nothing, and no renter, especially in common walls. So in common
Right.
walls, our system also blocks 97% of sound, and so you
Ah,
can't
nice.
hear your neighbor either. So it makes a lot of sense for owner operators
Yeah.
and
Excellent.
homeowners. So
Yeah.
if you're going to build a house, get a hold of Monolith because we can help any architect, engineer, or builder through the process.
Yes. Very good. Good. So what are the biggest operational bottlenecks builders face today?
Builders in general, I would say builders are always in a constant fight with local municipalities as far as getting permits, code requirements, inspectors out on time. I think to me that was always a massive struggle for me because every time you finish, let's say rough framing, an inspector needs to come out. You get all your electrical, inspector needs to come out.
Yeah.
You have to have a really good working relationship with the local municipalities, and if you ever butt heads, good luck getting anything done because they hold way too much power. So
Oh yeah. Yeah.
that is a massive bottleneck. I think another thing is when a COVID-like situation happens and the cost of lumber skyrockets. That's another thing. If lumber ever increases in price, we are either significantly cheaper or right on cost with.
Right.
It fluctuates quite a bit with the lumber industry actually. So,
Right.
but bottlenecks like that, and then the other thing is just finding really good quality workers. I know that is I've talked to a lot of people these last, I want to say 5 years, and it's really hard for people to find consistent,
Yeah.
reliable hands, just
Yeah.
good workers. And yeah, between I would say those are the two biggest bottlenecks now that local government and finding good work, like
Yes.
good hands, I should say.
Yes, yes, no, I understand. But I agree with you with the stupid government. They don't make the building process easy, no, and at all. So, all right,
No,
where does regulation slow innovation the most?
um, well, during the testing phase. So, for an example, we're getting our what I'm dubbing commercial testing done. That is just our code requirement. Um, like we're claiming a certain thermal R value, and we're claiming fire value to our product, and there is a testing process, like the ICC testing process, that is required in order for us to be able to make those claims, and then for that way, so if we want to go and build in Palisades, we have to have certain code requirements. Same with like Daytona Beach, Florida, they require certain building requirements, and so when you're dealing with all of this, it is a really big hurdle. And what I'm learning is I'm both grateful for it and angry at it at the same time. The reason I'm grateful for it is that way we don't get knockoff products, shipping in from
Yeah.
Mexico or China or out of country. They have to go through the same rigorous tests that we do, and
Yes.
they just can't do it because they don't have the same manufacturing standards and things like that. So it's a giant pain in the butt. But once it's done, I will be grateful that that's finished, which actually should be done this spring. So it's almost done.
Oh, that's good.
But
Good.
I don't know if that sort of answers your question. It's just the regulations and all these things. I get why they do it, but when it's too bloated, then it is too
Yes.
cumbersome, and you cannot innovate and you cannot push through. But so far, we haven't had so much oversight that it has stifled it, but it
Right.
is definitely costing a lot of money.
Yes, I hear you. So, what challenges surprised you the most while scaling Monolith?
I'm sorry, did you say what surprises me the
What
most?
what challenges surprised you the most while scaling your business?
Um, it's just the chicken and the egg situation. It's, do we scale up production before we have guaranteed sales? Or do we get
Yeah.
guaranteed sales risking that we can't produce enough to fulfill those orders?
Yeah.
And how do you
Yeah.
increase your production capabilities without the money of the sales? And you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's just this juggling act of
Yes, it is. Yeah.
manufacturing
Yeah.
is this wild. I mean, I'm not a manufacturer. I'm a builder. I just love this product enough to just fill in the gaps. But it is scaling is a wild thing. And then, do you franchise? Do you license out the IP? Do you own every single manufacturing plant? Then there's
Hmm.
automation. Do you automate? And when do you automate? And how much money does it take to automate? Like,
Yeah.
it's just a scale in every single direction. And then, do we own all of our buildings? Do we rent?
Yeah.
Do we? How do we do a market opening? I know that there's a market in Florida we're trying to get into, and the Carolinas, and Texas, and all over the place. And so, how do we strategically go in, do that market development, get enough guaranteed contracts to justify opening up that manufacturing plant? And
Hmm.
yeah, so it's just everything. And everything is surprising. Everything is a journey. You just have to
Sure.
roll up the punches and accept that you
Yeah.
won't know
Yeah.
anything. But as long as you find the people that know, you're golden. It just reminds me of Henry Ford. They're like, he's like, I don't know X, Y, and Z, but I got a room full of people in the next room, and I can pick any
Yeah.
single one of them, and they can tell you. I don't need to know everything. I need to find the people that do, which I have actually been
Yes.
surprisingly successful at doing. We have found some excellent people to fill in these roles.
Yes. It's like the movie Everything All the Time, whatever. I don't know if you watched that movie,
Yeah,
but
all at once. Yeah, all at
what you're
once.
saying is like everything is all coming at once, and
Yeah.
it's crazy. Perfect. So, where can AI create real value in construction today?
AI will never take over blue collar jobs. I know robots can do some sort of stuff. I think 3D printing is just way too far out there. I know people are trying it, but I think that the only place that AI really has a position, which we've taken advantage of, is sales, marketing, anything that doesn't require someone to lift a board or a piece of concrete. So
Yeah.
any sort of automated email outreach, customer service, anything with, unfortunately for all the marketers and salespeople, like it's going to be filling in the over the phone, but it can only do so much. Like we're heavily invested into AI. Like my marketing guy is creating a whole AI model for us in terms of like I'm recording every single one of my conversations, so that way we can build an agent that sounds and acts just like me. So that way it's like more familiar to people. But at the end of the day, uh, I refuse to talk to AI when I'm calling customer service because I don't want to deal with AI. They can only get so far. So they're really good at like, have you tried turning it off and on? Generic questions. But if someone needs a serious consultant through the construction process, AI will never do that because they don't, it is too, AI will never be able to see a set of customized plans, understand how to read the elevations, the engineering requirements
Yeah.
specific to California, walk them through this process, have all the stupid tricks, tips and tricks that you get for building for 50 years. Like, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think that it can fill in
No.
with the generic things. You know what I mean? Marketing, sales,
Yeah.
email, phone calls,
Yeah.
email conversations, sort of where it's filling in everywhere else. I think it can absolutely apply in construction, but I think it's kind of limited in a lot of the blue collar uh, sectors. You know, like rough framers are going to be rough
Yes.
framers no matter what. AI can only do so much for a rough framer. They're just going to keep rough framing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 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 And AI will be good for you to get to the point of talking to the person and then going over the blueprints and everything there up until that stage,
Absolutely.
right? So that's, yeah. So could AI help pioneer builders like yourself with cost estimating, accuracy, scheduling, labor planning, waste reduction, or material forecasting?
To an extent, yes. I think that it would be limited in terms of like labor costs. I mean, I use in-house built like calculators for like block count and things like that, but I still verify them every time.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, like let's say in another 3 to 5 years, I mean, the strides that it's taken in just the last 12 to 24 months is ridiculous. So I think if it
Yeah.
continues on that trajectory, I think it could absolutely fill in every single one of the roles that you just described. I think currently it is capped in a handful of those categories. It can only go so far. Is my
Right.
point. But
Gotcha.
scheduling, that's
Yeah.
easy. Calls, that's easy. I get really worried trusting AI to do a cost estimate or a numbers breakdown as far as like how many 2x4s.
Right.
Because if you get those numbers wrong, you're really shooting yourself in the foot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And especially let's
Yeah,
say
I
all
look at-
$30,000. You're eating that $30,000.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, you know how it is. You know, the big companies, Amazon and Microsoft, you know, they're laying off lots and having AI replace those repetitive type positions that we've been talking about. But, you know, but also AI can help improve a person's position and make them work smarter and harder.
Right.
Like a just like a tool, just like it, you know, applying a tool to what your trade is. If you got a better tool, then of course you're going to use it.
100%.
So if AI, yeah, if AI could instantly solve one bottleneck for Monolith, what would it be?
Um, I don't know if AI is sophisticated enough to do this. We're working on it currently, but it would be the ability to have professional sounding, legitimate sounding AI agents that can go do sales outreach to filter sales potentials to then funnel them to a real sales operator, to have those initial conversations. But so far, it's too robotic. It's not a real person, and people can sense it. And so I think emails are easy, but the second someone wants to talk on the phone, you can tell when it's everybody can tell when it's AI. I mean, it's just so, at least for me, it is so abundantly clear. Where I'm like, customer service, no, representative, let me talk to a representative. I don't want to deal with you. But a sophisticated enough automated tool to where we could have dozens and dozens of agents going into each local city, state, doing outreaches for us to be able to then filter and bring people to us that are actively interested in building or designing, architects, engineers, contractors, homeowners, people that are actually in the process of doing something, both commercially and residentially. That would be
Right.
extremely helpful. I just don't know how sophisticated they are yet. From what
Yeah.
I've seen,
No.
they're kind of limited.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. So, what is the Pioneer program really designed to unlock?
As far as with Monolith,
Yes. Yes.
so Pioneer program is sort of what we've got a bunch of different names. Market opener could be another one. Essentially, where are you locally? What city are you in?
I'm just outside of Toronto.
Okay, so let's say you're in Toronto, you're a builder, and you've got a pretty decent network, and you want to start really heavily building at a monolith ICF. Then we would consider you a pioneer or a market opener, and we would throw more resources towards you. We would give better, I don't want to say better deals, but it's more incentivizing for us to work with someone that
Right.
you have, extensive networks, and you want, you know, either excellent deals, or you want to help create enough sales and enough of a market to where we can now justify getting a manufacturing plant in Toronto. Um, we can now have a good working relationship in terms, there's all
Nice.
sorts of ways that we could do. We could give you a percentage of that manufacturing yearly operation. You get 1% of whatever we produce, or whatever it is. There's a lot of different ways that it can be structured, but we need help with people that understand local markets, that are willing to pioneer
Right.
with us. Put up banners on your job sites. Let
Yep.
us come and do drone footage and create marketing material from that, and do local ads there. And really, another thing is getting just a crap ton of education done in your build. So let's say you're doing a commercial build or a residential build, getting as many architects, engineers, and local builders involved in that job site. Let them onto the job site. Let them come in, and we
Yes.
continuing education, and that's how you really get into that market. But if you're just Joseph in Toronto that just wants to build a single house, well, that's not a market. That's not a pioneer or a market opener. You know what I mean?
No, no,
Is
that's
that-
not what you're looking for. Perfect. So, what does success look like for you in the next 5 to 10 years?
I want to have 15 plants throughout the United States. Our manufacturing plants are significantly less money to build than any other ICF manufacturing system. Um, I would like to have 10 to 15 manufacturing locations. I'd like to be fully automated. Get the human element out of the manufacturing process. And I'd also like to be international, whether that just means Canada, Europe. I know ICF is big in
Right.
Canada, Europe, uh, maybe Australia. I don't care where it is. A single
Right.
international location and 10 to 15 national.
Excellent. Good. Oh, those are great goals. So, one outdated belief holding construction back.
Construction in general?
Yeah, and or with you, or in general, just something that's outdated and it's still holding the industry back.
Building out of lumber.
Yeah.
I think building, seriously, I think building out of lumber is archaic. I would even argue don't, if you want to build out of wood, build out of full logs. A full log
Right.
that's been treated will take substantially longer to burn down than a 2x6
Yeah.
home.
Yeah.
Just we're too archaic. We went from Lincoln logs to then a more efficient way, which is stick frame, and then we just stopped innovating.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've been building the same way. I think that the verdict is in, and that stick built is not the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. No, I hear you. All right. Last question here. One leadership lesson learned the hard way.
That you always keep what should and is absolutely necessarily should be kept internal, whether that's the internal founder conversation or what is going on side the dialogue in your own mind. If it should stay private, it should stay private. Meaning attitude, stress, the burdens of running a company, the burdens of growing a company. You don't publicly disclose those things to employees, to
Yeah.
to those that you don't burden them with the negative. You only burden them with you can do it in a strategic way where you can talk about the realism of growth in a burdensome way, which it's very stressful, or you can do it in a way that is hopeful and helpful and helps inspire people to work harder and in an excited environment. But if you take your emotional burden and dump it onto others, you're just, the saying, a little
Yeah.
poop in the pudding makes the whole pudding poopy.
Yeah.
You don't,
Sure does.
you don't add your emotional, poop or whatever. You don't add that to the mix. You keep it.
Yeah.
You are very honest and you level with people, but you do not give them the burden. That is why owners
Yes.
own equity. That is why owners take salary cuts, and they take. There's a reason why Jeff Bezos has the lion's share of Amazon, because he took on the most risk and he took on the most everything. That's
Yeah.
pure real capitalism.
Yes.
Not crony capitalism. We're talking real, genuine capitalism. You take care of your employees, you let them in the excitement, you let them earn equity, but you do not burden them and give them the responsibility that is up to the founders to burden. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I sure do. No, that's great advice. Great advice. Thank you. All right. Ben, this has been an incredible talk.
Absolutely.
Looking at resilient, profitable construction. So for anyone listening who wants to build stronger, smarter, and more sustainable, check out Monolith and the Pioneer program. And thanks again, Ben. And that's it for today, folks.
Thank you.
All right, we're done.
Awesome.
We're done. Perfect.
Will
Good.
you-
Yeah.
When you post this, will you have like a link to our website and like, do you need my
Yeah, I got to get
email
stuff.
and
Yeah.
all that stuff?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to do all that to promote all that. Yes.
Yeah,
It's just
and
going to
you'll
take a
have
little while.
Link once you're done, and that way I can promote it as well. Correct?
Yes. Yeah. We'll get all that done. It's just going to be a week or two, so I'll get it done as fast as possible.
you totally
But
don't-
we'll get it done. So I just wanted to ask you a question. What did you think of all the emails that you got from me?
I mean, they're pretty typical. I've done multiple of these podcasts that are smaller podcasts that people reach out from LinkedIn and things like that. But it's pretty typical of the automated. I mean, we have the same automated LinkedIn messages too, where it's like, "Hey, I'm reaching out, blah blah blah," and once they've had the conversation long enough, then it actually gets to me, and then I can take over for that email, you know. But it was fairly typical. I normally wait for a second probe before I respond to see if it's a real thing. I get too many emails to respond to every single first email, you know.
Yeah, of course.
But no,
No,
it
was
a fine
just-
process.
Yeah, the reason I was mentioning it because you never talked to me. I never responded to you.
Yeah.
That was all my AI agent.
Yeah,
So,
AI
you know, it does a good job.
It's much easier via written text. It's way more difficult via a phone call. You know what I
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I agree with it there. AI isn't there yet, but I'm sure one day, very soon, it'll be there. But it's funny though, just on the email side of things, you know, I've had people respond to me and say, "Oh, thank goodness, I'm talking to a real person." And I just start laughing and say, "Well, no, you're not. You're still talking to AI." And that's the whole process, right? AI switches it. I get a notice that when you accepted the appointment and you said, "Okay, let's do it," then that's when I get involved
Right.
in that, and that's what I do. I help companies get good quality, high quality leads so they can make more money.
Okay.
And I don't know if you have anything in there. Would it be terrible if I could share a growth plan with you regarding that?
No, that's totally fine. Just to be fully transparent, I've got a marketing guy that's like obsessed with AI. So I rarely have, first of all, I don't understand AI well enough, but what would probably be the most beneficial is for you to talk to Dustin, because Dustin can say, okay, I can see where it is that you excel, where we could plug you in and you could help with X, Y, and Z. He would, if you're talking to me, you're just going to inevitably just end up talking to Dustin anyways. So when we've done this in the past, I just recommend going straight to Dustin now and say, hey, look,
Okay.
this is my skill set. This is where it is that I think that I can help you guys. And then we can say, yeah, this actually makes sense, and we can see where we could plug you in to where we can lighten some of his burden, because he's taking on a crap
Yes.
ton in our company as well. He's also doing AI stuff. So if you have a
Right.
specific skill set that you can just plug in, that would make a lot more sense to me. Are you comfortable with meeting with Dustin?
Oh, for sure, yeah, and that's what we do. Is you know, I my backing of the company behind me, I never did any of the coding, so I'm not that smart to do and write all that. But that's what they've done. They've done everything there, and our goal is to partner with companies like yourself and help you get more money by getting more qualified leads. And like I said, it's not necessarily there to replace anybody, but it could be there to really enhance Dustin's position and his goal to use AI to help build the business for the company.
Totally. Then I will right now. Give me just 2 seconds live time. What's your email?
It's Joseph
Oh no, my
at.
internet's being super slow. Holy.
Yeah, you can't. Don't use my AI agent emails. They're designed for the outreach. So it's Joseph at.
Joseph. Yeah, hold on. Joseph at
JJM.
agency.ca.
Yeah, that's it.
Sure.
Dash agency.ca. Yeah.
AI and then I'm going to add Dustin. All right, I'm creating an email right now between me, you, and Dustin. I'm just gonna. Hey Dustin, this is Joseph. We just did a podcast and he wants to discuss AI options with us. Please respond to this chain email. Because if I don't do this right now, I will forget about it. Because I am just that busy. So I just sent out a chain email between me, you, and Dustin. He will respond. He's pretty responsive. He will respond to that. You can respond to that, explaining if you just want to do an introduction in that email chain.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, I'm Joseph. This is what I do. You know, you can set up times at work, and then you can just do a Google Meet or Zoom call or something.
Yeah. Perfect. Good. No, appreciate that. Again, thank you for investing your time. I know you're very busy, and I don't take that lightly when business owners like yourself give me their time.
Totally. I'm always down for a good podcast. So.
Good stuff.
Okay.
Okay, great. Yeah, have a great day, and I'm sure we'll be in touch soon.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks again.
All right.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.